So Rick, our mutual friend, says, you know, Jimmy wants to meet you and you can go over to his apartment and da-da-da-da, and I'm single, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Wait, what?
Yes!
Nicole Kidman has lived a life filled with fame, glamour, and moments she once kept carefully private. Over the years, she experienced broken relationships, deep crushes, and unforgettable on-screen chemistry that left fans guessing if it was true love or just another scandal. Now, at 58, she has finally named the 6 actors who once held a special place in her heart. Who were these men? What made each connection unique? And what hidden stories have never been told until now? Join us as we explore the stories, the surprises, and the truth behind Nicole Kidman's most personal confessions. Number 6. Tom Burlinson.
Yeah, well, we all know they'd like to run us right out of the high country.
What are the boys doing about that?
Tom Burlinson is an Australian actor whose rise began long before most people ever linked his name to Nicole Kidman. Born in Canada and raised between several countries before settling in Australia as a young teenager, he discovered a passion for acting while still in school. Drama classes helped him find confidence, and by the time he entered the prestigious National Institute of Dramatic Art in Sydney, it was clear that he had chosen the right path. His voice, posture, and natural precision made him stand out among his classmates. Tom's big break came in the early 1980s with the film The Man from Snowy River. The movie became one of Australia's most beloved cinematic successes, praised for its scenery, story, and Tom's performance as a determined young horseman. The role turned him into a household name across the country. Viewers admired his discipline and the modest, grounded personality he showed in interviews. Even after achieving fame, Tom was seen as someone who took his craft seriously and stayed away from the excesses often linked to rising stars.
Did you see The Man from Snowy River? Did you see that film? Australian film? Tom Burlinson is his name.
His talent soon carried him into more films, television roles, and stage work. And he grew respected not only as an actor, but also as a singer with a strong, classic voice.
Swing and touring nationally in March with a swag of crooning classics, performing the Nats. Hear it for Tom Burlinson.
It was in this early stage of his career that Tom Burlinson met Nicole Kidman. The two were cast together in the 1986 film Wind Rider, a light romantic drama shot along the Australian coast. Nicole was still at the beginning of her career, young, ambitious, and eager to learn. Their connection on set developed naturally. They worked closely, spending long hours filming scenes and adjusting to the pressures of the production. Their chemistry was easily noticeable to those around them, and the friendship that grew during the shoot slowly turned into a private relationship. The bond between Tom and Nicole was simple and warm. They were close in age, both eager young actors working hard to build names for themselves. They shared dreams, challenges, and long conversations about the future. At that time, neither of them had yet reached international fame, so their relationship developed away from the harsh spotlight that came later in Nicole's life. Friends and colleagues described that period as one where both were discovering who they wanted to be, and their connection helped them navigate the uncertainties of early adulthood and early stardom. Despite its sweetness, their relationship faced natural challenges. Nicole's career was beginning to move at a rapid pace. Her roles were becoming more demanding, and her ambition kept pushing her toward new opportunities abroad. Tom's career remained strong in Australia, but his professional path was different. As Nicole began taking on more international projects, their lives slowly grew apart. There was no dramatic scandal, no public conflict, and no lasting controversy tied to their breakup. It was simply a moment where timing, distance, and separate ambitions made continuing the relationship difficult. Public perception of their time together has always been gentle. Fans who look back on their early years often see Tom as one of the people who knew Nicole before global fame, before Hollywood pressure, and before her life became deeply connected to to major international stars.
Nicole Kidman is one of our most talented and beautiful actresses, and now you can catch her on the big screen in Rabbit Hole.
After their relationship ended, Tom Burlinson continued to build a steady and respected career. He took on more film roles and became particularly admired for his stage performances and singing ability. His deep appreciation for classic music eventually led him to a successful career performing classic American standards.
In the late 1950s, and I just loved it. I loved Sinatra's voice, I loved the music, the songs.
Showing a versatility that many actors never achieve. In his personal life, he later married and built a quiet, stable family life, away from heavy public attention. Tom's romantic history outside his time with Nicole Kidman has always been handled with privacy. He is known for keeping his personal matters away from gossip circles. His later relationships were not surrounded by the same attention that Nicole's future partnerships attracted, especially when she began working internationally and eventually married fellow superstar Tom Cruise. But while Tom Burlinson shaped Nicole Kidman's early years, the next man in her life would pull her into a level of fame neither of them had ever imagined. Number 5. Marcus Graham.
I like to think of you as successful.
It depends on how you measure success, I guess.
Can't live off your looks forever.
Marcus Graham is one of Australia's most respected actors, known for his striking presence, strong screen charisma, and long career across television, film, and theatre. He was born in Western Australia and grew up in a creative environment. His father, Ron Graham, was also an actor, so Marcus was introduced to the world of performance from a young age. Watching rehearsals, set work, and stage activity made him curious about acting long before he ever stepped into the industry himself. Marcus began acting professionally in the early years of his adulthood. He trained seriously, developed discipline, and slowly built a reputation through stage performances and small roles in Australian television dramas. His early work showed a clear talent for emotional depth, something that later became one of his strongest qualities. Soon, larger opportunities followed. His breakthrough came with the Australian television series E Street in the late 1980s and early 1990s. In that show, he played a dark and charming character who captured the audience's attention. His performance made him a household name, turning him into one of the most recognizable faces on Australian screens. As his popularity grew, people admired his ability to play complex roles. He was seen as an actor who combined good looks with serious skill. Over the years, he continued to appear in well-known Australian dramas such as Blue Heelers, Underbelly, Janet King, and many others. Each project helped build the image of Marcus Graham as a versatile, hard-working actor who could carry both leading and supporting roles with equal strength. Unlike many stars who shift toward large Hollywood productions, Marcus remained steady in the Australian entertainment industry, choosing roles that challenged him rather than chasing global fame.
Never say a word because they got cancer. Had their voice box removed and only talk through a hole in their throat.
It was during these early years of his career that Marcus Graham crossed paths with Nicole Kidman. The two met in Australia when both were still rising actors. Nicole was already beginning to attract attention after her early films and television projects, and Marcus was building his name on Australian screens. They became close naturally, sharing the same work environment, friends, and ambitions. Their relationship grew during the late 1980s, a period when both were still shaping their futures and figuring out their next steps.
All right, no.
That wasn't exactly the reassurance I was after.
Well, to be honest, no one's safe till this guy's arrested.
I'll try not to scream in public.
The bond between Marcus and Nicole was genuine and youthful. They were close in age, with similar dreams of success and similar dedication to their work. In the eyes of people who knew them then, they were a beautiful and promising couple. They spent time together away from the spotlight, supporting each other as they navigated auditions, new roles, and the pressure of early fame. This was before Nicole became a global star, so their relationship unfolded mostly in private, without the international attention that later followed her. However, their time together was not without challenges. Nicole's career began moving at a speed that few young actors experience so early. Opportunities from outside Australia started pulling her toward new paths. When she began receiving chances to work in America, everything changed. Accepting those roles meant distance, long trips, and an unpredictable future. Marcus, whose primary work remained in Australia, suddenly found himself watching Nicole's career shift into a different world. The major challenge they faced was not conflict or distrust, but timing and ambition. Nicole was stepping into international film opportunities that required full commitment. Marcus admired her talent and was proud of her success. But the reality of the situation became clear. Their lives were heading in different directions, and the relationship could not survive the growing distance. This separation was emotional for both of them. Marcus later spoke honestly about the heartbreak he felt when Nicole left for larger opportunities overseas. His openness about that period showed the sincerity of their bond and the impact it had on him. Public perception of their relationship has always been gentle and respectful. It is viewed as a meaningful early chapter for both. Australians remember Marcus as someone who cared deeply for Nicole long before she became one of the world's most famous actresses. Their breakup was never surrounded by scandal. Instead, it is seen as a moment when two talented people were simply pulled apart by the natural course of their careers. After their relationship ended, Marcus continued building a solid career in Australia. He took on more demanding television and theater roles, showing a maturity and professionalism that earned him lasting respect within the industry. Over the years, he became admired not only for his acting talent, but also for maintaining a steady and private personal life. His romantic relationships after Nicole were kept mostly away from the media. Marcus preferred privacy, choosing not to make his personal life a subject of public discussion. However, what came next for Nicole Kidman was a love that transformed her life and pushed her into a world of global fame she had never imagined. Number 4. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is one of the most famous actors in the world, known for his energy, discipline, and long record of blockbuster films. He was born in the United States and grew up in a family that moved often. His early life was challenging, and acting was not his first plan. As a teenager, he tried different activities, including sports, but eventually discovered a natural talent for performing. His confidence on stage grew, and he decided to pursue acting as a full career. Tom began with small roles in the early 1980s, but it did not take long for him to stand out. His breakthrough came with the film Risky Business. The movie made him a rising star, especially among young audiences. Soon after, his role in Top Gun turned him into an international sensation. His intense screen presence, sharp determination, and ability to carry big action roles made him one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. People admired him for his strong work ethic, physical commitment to his roles, and his ability to reinvent himself in every decade. By the time he entered adulthood, he was already one of the most recognizable actors on the planet. Tom Cruise's public image has always been powerful. Many see him as a symbol of the classic Hollywood leading man, confident, sharp, and endlessly hardworking. He has starred in some of the biggest film franchises.
So Hollywood superstar Tom Cruise has been making headlines for new movie Mission Impossible.
Especially the Mission Impossible series, which kept him at the top of the global box office for many years. Even with his fame, Tom maintained a very controlled and private personal life, which sometimes led to curiosity and speculation around him. Still, he remained respected for his discipline, professionalism, and passion for his craft. It was during the height of his rising fame that Tom met Nicole Kidman. They were cast together in the film Days of Thunder, released in the early 1990s. Nicole was a young actress from Australia, beginning to attract global attention. Working together on the film allowed them to spend long hours on set, getting to know each other closely. Their connection grew quickly. They shared a deep attraction, supported by admiration for each other's talent and ambition. Their relationship moved forward rapidly, and they married on Christmas Eve in the year 1990. Their wedding was private and intimate, marking the beginning of one of Hollywood's most visible marriages. For the next decade, they were one of the industry's most famous couples. People around the world saw them as a powerful pair, two talented stars supporting each other as their careers reached new heights. Tom and Nicole formed a strong bond. They worked together on more projects, including Far and Away and later Eyes Wide Shut. Off-screen, they shared a home life that included the adoption of 2 children, a daughter and a son. People admired the calm and united way they appeared in public, stylish, confident, and focused on their family. Despite their massive fame, they tried to give their children a grounded and private upbringing. Their marriage was not without challenges. Both actors were extremely busy, constantly moving between film sets, continents, and long work schedules. Managing such demanding careers while raising a family was difficult. Their personal beliefs, work commitments, and public pressures sometimes created strain. Still, for many years, they stayed close and continued to present a strong partnership. As time passed, the pressures of Hollywood, constant travel, and private differences grew heavier. After more than a decade together, Tom and Nicole decided to part ways. Their separation became public in the year 2001.
Nicole Kidman's eyebrow-raising comment about her divorce from Tom Cruise resurfaces amid her breakup with Keith Urban.
Even though the world watched the breakup unfold, both handled it with care and respect. The end of their marriage marked a turning point for Nicole, who later spoke about how deeply the divorce affected her and how she had to rebuild her personal and professional life. For Tom, it was also a major shift, as he entered a new phase of his career and personal journey. Public interest in their relationship remained strong long after they separated. People remembered their partnership as one of the most iconic Hollywood marriages of its era. Their time together included major film moments, glamorous red carpets, family milestones, and shared dreams. The world saw them grow, succeed, and finally move in different directions. After the divorce, Tom Cruise continued his acting career with great success. His roles in action films, especially the later Mission Impossible movies, strengthened his place as a global superstar. His personal life also moved forward. He later entered new relationships, including a well-known marriage to another actress. But after the world watched her marriage end, another connection quietly entered Nicole Kidman's life, bringing comfort, calm, and a new kind of love. Number 3. Ewan McGregor. Ewan McGregor is a Scottish actor known for his charm, versatility, and unforgettable presence across both film and television. Born in a small town in Scotland, he grew up in a creative family that encouraged artistic expression. From a young age, Ewan showed interest in performing. He admired music, theater, and storytelling. And by his teenage years, he knew he wanted a life in the arts. This passion led him to formal training at drama school in London, where his determination and natural talent helped him stand out among other aspiring actors. Ewan's rise began in the early 1990s through British television roles that allowed him to show his range. But his major breakthrough came with the film Trainspotting. His performance as a troubled young man caught in the struggles of addiction was powerful, raw, and unforgettable. The movie became a cultural landmark, and Ewan was suddenly recognized as one of the most exciting young actors of his generation.
One thing that I have to ask you, because as you know, there are Star Wars fans who are...
Not long after, he joined the Star Wars franchise, playing a younger version of a beloved character. This role introduced him to an entirely new global audience and secured his place in international cinema. Over the years, he proved himself in dramas, musicals, comedies, and action films, showing a level of flexibility few actors achieve. Public perception of Ewan McGregor has always been interesting. Many see him as a combination of warmth, confidence, and artistic seriousness. He appears approachable in interviews, yet deeply committed to the craft of acting. Fans admire his willingness to take on unusual roles and challenge himself, rather than staying within one familiar style. Throughout his career, he has maintained a reputation for professionalism and dedication, which strengthened his image as both a leading man and a respected character actor. It was during the production of Moulin Rouge in the early 2000s that Ewan McGregor met Nicole Kidman. Both were already widely respected actors, and the film brought them together during a crucial time in their careers. The project required intense preparation, long rehearsals, emotional scenes, and a strong musical element. As the two leads of the film, Ewan and Nicole spent many hours working on their performances, refining their chemistry and building the trust needed for such a demanding role. Their bond grew naturally through the shared work experience. They supported each other through vocal training, dance practice, and the long, exhausting filming schedule. The emotional weight of the story they were telling also played a part. They had to portray deep affection, heartbreak, and passion, and doing this successfully demanded a strong connection. People on set later spoke about how well they collaborated, how they encouraged each other creatively, and how deeply they respected one another's talent. Their partnership on screen became one of the most memorable parts of the film's success. Because their connection was so strong in the movie, it sparked rumors off-screen. Tabloids suggested that they were involved romantically, but Ewan publicly denied these claims. The coverage at the time made the situation more stressful than it needed to be, especially because both actors were fully focused on their work. The truth was much simpler. They had a powerful professional partnership shaped by long hours, artistic pressure, and trust, not a personal romance. The rumors were the result of publicity, speculation, and the intense attention surrounding the film. Even with the controversy, their working relationship remained positive. They continued promoting the film with warmth and respect for each other. Nicole spoke highly of Ewan's talent, and Ewan expressed equal admiration for her dedication. They shared joyful moments on set, especially during musical rehearsals and behind-the-scenes celebrations. Their partnership contributed greatly to the emotional success of Moulin Rouge and remains one of the most beloved pairings in modern film musicals. Why they did not end up together is simple and factual. There was no romantic relationship between them. They were colleagues, collaborators, and friends who supported each other through a challenging artistic process. Their connection was built on professionalism and respect, not personal involvement. The rumors were created outside their control, and both actors continued their careers without any lasting effect from the speculation. Ewan McGregor's personal life outside his work has been more private than public, though occasional details became known because of his long career. He was married for many years and had a family before later entering another relationship. These changes in his personal life happened many years after Moulin Rouge and were not connected to his work with Nicole Kidman. Ewan consistently separated his professional relationships from his private ones, maintaining a clear boundary that helped him stay focused on his craft. But just when fans thought the speculation had ended, another co-star brought even louder headlines and even stronger rumors into Nicole Kidman's world. Number 2. Jude Law. Jude Law is one of the most recognizable British actors of his generation, admired for his classic looks, strong screen presence, and long list of respected performances. Born in London in the early 1970s, he began acting at a young age. He joined the National Youth Music Theatre and later moved into stage work, earning early praise for his dedication and confidence. His rise was steady rather than sudden, built on years of training and roles that showed he could shift between charm, intensity, and vulnerability. His first major attention in film came in the mid-1990s when he appeared in stylish dramas that traveled well internationally. Soon after, he earned award nominations that helped him break into Hollywood. By the early 2000s, he had become a leading man known for emotional depth and for bringing quiet strength to complicated characters. Audiences and critics often described him as an actor who could balance glamour with real discipline. Although he was celebrated for his talent, he also faced the challenges that come with fast fame, intense media attention, and personal scrutiny. Jude Law's connection to Nicole Kidman came through their work on Cold Mountain, a war drama filmed in the early 2000s. Kidman was already one of the most respected actresses in the world, and Jude Law was at a point in his career where every new role pushed him higher. The project brought together a cast known for professionalism, and both actors were praised for their strong performances. They met on set as colleagues, and their working relationship developed in a very normal way, through long filming days, shared scenes, and the quiet bond that comes from trying to bring a story to life. In interviews from that period, both actors spoke highly of each other's talent. Kidman was known for her intense preparation, while Law was known for his emotional accuracy, and these traits helped their scenes feel authentic. The bond they shared was the natural connection co-stars often build when working far from home and carrying the weight of a major production. It was based on mutual respect, artistic focus, and the need to trust one another during difficult filming schedules. Nothing publicly recorded suggests that their connection moved beyond this professional space. However, the time they spent together became the center of a media storm they did not ask for. British tabloids began publishing stories claiming they were involved romantically. These allegations spread quickly, not because of evidence, but because both actors were famous, attractive, and starring in a film with emotional themes. The rumors created real challenges for Kidman and Law. For Kidman especially, the situation became serious enough that she took legal action against some newspapers. Courts and settlements confirmed the allegations were false, and the tabloids were required to acknowledge that the stories had been untrue. This was a rare example of clear official correction in an industry where speculation often goes unanswered. The controversy was difficult for both actors. Kidman had already spent years dealing with public attention on her private life, and these stories added strain at a time when she was rebuilding her personal world after her divorce from Tom Cruise. For Law, the rumors added pressure to an already busy and highly visible point in his career. The situation did not damage their professional respect for each other, but it did show how quickly two unrelated private lives could be pulled into a media narrative they did not create. Their relationship remained strictly professional, shaped by the experience of working together on one film and then moving forward with their separate careers. They did not end up together because there was never a romance between them. Their bond began as colleagues, stayed that way, and remained respectful even after the false rumors faded. The situation surrounding them was created by the media, not by their choices. Jude Law's romantic relationships outside this period were also widely covered by the press. He married actress Sadie Frost in the late 1990s, and they became one of Britain's most photographed couples. Together, they had children and worked through the difficulty of balancing family life with demanding careers. Their marriage eventually ended, and Law entered other high-profile relationships, including one with actress Sienna Miller. These relationships received heavy media attention, often focusing more on headlines than on the real work of maintaining a life under public observation. Despite these challenges, Law continued to build a respected career across theater, film, and television. Kidman, for her part, continued building her life and career, eventually finding long-term happiness with musician Keith Urban. Her path separated entirely from Law's, with both actors moving forward professionally and personally in ways that suited their journeys. However, the next name on the list brings a completely different kind of connection, one shaped not by rumors, but by a surprising spark that grew during a time of personal change. Number 1. Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon is one of the most recognizable television personalities in the United States, known for his warm energy, playful humor, and easy connection with guests. Born in Brooklyn in the mid-1970s and raised in New York State, he grew up with the dream of becoming a comedian. From a young age, he loved impressions, music, and making people laugh. His talent eventually took him to stand-up comedy clubs, where he impressed audiences with his youthful spirit and quick timing. His real breakthrough came when he joined Saturday Night Live in the late 1990s. His ability to mimic celebrities, break into songs, and create memorable characters made him one of the standout performers of that era. He quickly became a favorite among viewers and earned a strong reputation as an entertainer who could make even ordinary moments funny. After leaving the show, he worked in films and continued building his career until he later took over The Tonight Show. As host, he became known for games, skits, musical segments, and interviews that felt relaxed and friendly. Public perception of Fallon has mostly centered on his approachable personality and his talent for creating a sense of fun for both guests and audiences. Jimmy Fallon's connection to Nicole Kidman is unlike her connections with co-stars or past partners. It was not based on romance or a relationship, but on a simple crush that Kidman once openly mentioned during an appearance on Fallon's show. The moment became widely talked about because of how unexpected, humorous, and genuine it felt. Kidman shared that, many years earlier, before she reached the height of her Hollywood fame, a mutual friend had arranged for her to meet Fallon at his apartment. She had been interested in getting to know him better at the time, but Fallon did not realize she had a crush, and the meeting remained casual and uneventful. This short, light-hearted confession later became one of the most memorable talk show moments of the decade, mainly because of Fallon's surprised reaction and Kidman's warmth in telling the story. There was no romance between them, no relationship, and no dates. The story became popular simply because it showed the sweet, unexpected side of early adulthood experiences, those moments when two people misunderstand each other in harmless, human ways. Their bond today is built on this shared memory, and the way they both laughed about it on television helped the moment spread across social media, turning it into a cultural highlight. The connection they share is friendly and shaped by respect. Fallon often invites Kidman onto his show, and their interactions are marked by comfort and humor. They have not faced controversies together, aside from the playful surprise surrounding Kidman's confession, which was treated mostly with amusement rather than seriousness. Both of them handled the attention with maturity, making sure the moment stayed light and respectful. Their bond is not one of long shared history or personal struggle, but of two celebrities discovering, in front of the world, that they once misread each other in a simple and relatable way. They never ended up together because there was never a romantic relationship between them. Fallon was completely unaware of Kidman's early crush, and life moved forward for both of them. Kidman went on to build her personal life, eventually marrying Keith Urban, while Fallon met and married producer Nancy Juvonen. Fallon's marriage is well known for its stability. He and Juvonen met on the set of a film in the early 2000s and later married in the late 2000s, building a private family life, while Fallon continued to work in television. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.